Okay, so this video, I've been thinking about this topic for a while now, and I just never really thought to verbalize it until just now. It finally just hit me to talk about this. This scenario of when a woman says she's sexually awakened, right? It's sexually awakening. It's like there's tons of women who hit the wall usually. They're usually about 30, usually about between 28 to 35 when this happens. Sometimes even get up to 40, 45. What this is, see, the reality of a woman's life cycle is this: women are born into being loved, but they also want to be led. So in the first 25 years of life, women are always looking for a leader to lead them to do something. Well, and see, usually the reason why they become sexually awakened at 25, I say after 20, pretty much after their prime is up, after 25, usually around 30, 35, and they become awakened. See, and this is just because of a woman's lifespan and what the cars that they have to deal with. Once they finally become somewhat, of a higher mental capacity, and they get sexually awakened, meaning that they've been plowed by enough dudes to finally realize what it is they actually want. Now they want to go out and get what they want. You see, but it is the sad part with a woman's timeline is, well, that's when her prime is usually up when this second stage of life hits. So like, and see, and this is why, okay, sexually awakened. You can also put that into the area of wanting, the stereotypical alpha, 6 foot tall, 6 pack abs, 6 figure income, all that shit like that. See, that sexually awakening can go into that category. It's like now that they've been raw dogged by hundreds of men. I'd say at this point probably thousands, and in reality they can only remember the hundreds because those are the only ones who maybe stood out for some reason. They've been raw dog, gang bang, spit roasted, orgy. They've done so much. Okay, they've done so much by this point. They've finally been able to start thinking a little bit on their own and start deducing what they like a little more. And this is their awakening. Well, yeah, for a woman, it could be an awakening. And guys have the same awakening too around, I say, mid-30s. That's when we get our awakening. We finally realize like what's going on and what do we actually want. Well, see, the good side is with men, what men are valued for, we appeal to all women from younger to older. Once we hit that awakening and we start taking on that role of doing what we actually want to do, knowing what we actually want, going after that, we can go out and do it respectfully. You see, we we can get, see, like I read this somewhere. When men age, they look like Sean Connery. But when women age, they look like Sean Connery. Like it doesn't work the same for women. So like, yeah, I mean, they could want all this, but their value just plummets at this point. This is another, like, see, women, they get it confused. They think the wall is only because their looks. Looks are a part of it, but the bigger part of it is what happens to them on a psychological level in combination with what they have to offer, man. It is just all their value just it just goes through the basement. Because like I said, okay, like back to the sexual awakening. Look, these women have been raw dogged, spit roasted, choked out, fucking slapped, pissed on, shitted on, eating out dirty, drunk guys' assholes in the back alleys of bars. They've been doing all types of shit, man. And a lot of times it's the girls that you don't think are doing it. Those are the ones who are doing it the most. And out of all these experiences, like I said, they start to deduce what they like, what they don't like. So now they want to actually want to try X now because they figure, oh, I like X, so I want to try X now. Well, the reality of it is, they turn into like a form of a leader now, which no woman wants to be a leader, but it's like it's just that natural human turn in life to like. Now she knows what she wants, and now she wants to go get it. So now she has to be a leader. Well, leader and woman doesn't mix. Leader and woman, it doesn't mix well. It never has. It never. They always have to go back and find a man to be a leader again. even in like the gayest, dykest relationships, they're secretly running around on dating websites trying to suck dick. like, they need man, like they need it in their existence. So they're like the sexual awakening, like I said, a woman's life pretty much after 25 is just difficult to watch. It is like, and I'm not trying to say men are better than women or women are better than men, but for what we have to offer the other sex, men can just keep going up. Where women after 25, man, it just plummets. And the best that they have after 25 on average, on I say 90% chance, all a woman after 25, man, all she has to offer, man, is either raunchy sex, raunchy crazy sex, or always cooking and bringing his food. And anything after that, like she has nothing else to offer, man. This is why, like, I don't know if you looked up the stats on dating, but after 25 and 30, it's just a constant slope down. I mean, and if there's a woman watching this, I mean, you can be mad at me if you want. I mean, the numbers are right there. Well, you don't like numbers, but the numbers are right there. Like you can't. And men can keep going. Now, a lot of guys, they can go up, but a lot of guys, they get stuck in the mentality of what they were the first 25 years of life, not being desirable to women, not doing this, so I might as well just give up. And so a lot of guys won't get that wake up, and they'll just kind of like either hover or just slowly go a little down. But a lot of guys, men have the possibility of going up. Women don't have that possibility, bro. After 25, like I said, after 25, the only thing she really has to offer men that men would genuinely want out of her is crazy sex. Like getting, gang banging, the groupie orgy. That's about all she can offer at this point. Because well, that's the whole post 25, post wall talk. But the sexual awakening thing, man, like that, it's a real thing. I definitely know women really do go through it, but it's the timeline of their life cycle is what fucks them up. That's what it is, and they usually can't get there. They usually can't get there fully until they're after the wall, because when they're younger, they're still looking for a leader. When they're younger, they're still looking for a leader. And a lot of women, they get married at young ages, and then they get that sexual awakening where they realize like they never really liked this husband, or they realize that the husband is just never going to have sex the way that she wants to have sex. She actually wants to have sex, and she's tired of trying to manipulate, blah blah blah. And then she's secretly going out and getting ran through by guys all throughout the neighborhood. It's like dealing with women in these situations, man. Like, the number one thing I would advise to men is to just do not pay women that much attention. Just don't pay them. Just have a hobby, man. Like, if your thing is building cars or whatever the fuck, drawing, it can be anything. If it's PlayStation, just put like that should be where all your attention goes. Because if you put too much attention into women, like women are programmed to self-destruct. So just don't put just don't put too much into a woman. Now, if you have children, put a lot into your children, but don't put a lot into a woman, man, because they're biologically, their default setting is self-destruct. Okay, then they're not happy until they finally do it. But yeah, like that's it, man. The sexual awakening thing. I'm not gonna say it's abnormal. It's normal. But it's just their whole time. It's just what woman is in her time frame of doing it. It's always going to be off. It's always going to be off. It's never going to be. It's very rarely going to be a good time. And when it is a good time, usually those are the 19-year-old porn stars. I think those are. But even then, like for what woman is, once a man finds out that she was out there doing all that, like any man's going to self-respect, who has true self-respect, isn't going to want that. So like women really, in some aspects, women do have it harder if they're that type of girl. Now, all women aren't these types of girls, but if they're that type of girl, they have a harder time with that because you can't blame the men, because the psychological issues that brings along in that woman are pretty much they're irreparable. So if she has kids and all this shit, the kid, like Every female porn star I've ever heard of who had kids, they were just horrible mothers, if they were even a mother at all. Like I don't know if you ever looked at into Jenna Jameson. Jenna Jameson has like 3 kids. If you even know Jenna, because okay, if there's a younger guy watching this, you may not know who Jenna Jameson is. Jenna Jameson. Here's a brief rundown of Jenna Jameson. Jenna Jameson was like the princess of porn back, like back before you can get on porn on the internet and get on was Pornhub and shit like that. Jenna Jameson was the top fucking girl because I never thought she was very pretty. I mean, she's a good looking girl, but I never thought I never jacked off the Jenna Jameson. But a lot of guys, she was the number one porn star because she to me she looked kind of more like a girl who just plays tennis or something like that. But she always fucked and did a bunch. I mean, she had her moments. I think she did like a Cleopatra scene. I thought she looked good, like dressed up as Cleopatra. But I never jacked off to her, to be honest. But Jenna Jameson ended up with 3 kids, and there's a guy on YouTube. The baby's father. He talks about it. She never comes around to see the kids. She gave up all rights to see the kids. She's just a fucking horrible mother. Once women, and it's just the reality of the scenario with women. Once women get too much power, they always end up fucked up. You never hear of a story of a woman who got power, who in any kind of way, you never hear a story of a woman who got power and still stayed legitimately respectable for long. It's just they're like women's default nature is self-destruct. You see what I'm saying? Like this is why you never hear of women who when they get too much power or they end up too good in any one part of their life, usually the rest of their life is just completely in shambles. And sometimes it has nothing to do. Sometimes if she's just a pretty girl, because now she doesn't have to work anymore because she's pretty. Well, now she doesn't know how to do anything because she's pretty, and guys just give her shit. Whenever a woman gets too successful in any one area, the rest of her life is just a complete fucking joke. And sexual awakening is another one. Once she became intelligent enough to know that she's sexually awakened, that she knows what she wants now, watch her life from then on. It's gonna fucking crumble. It crumbles. Like the older I get, the more I'm starting to understand. Well, and this happened years ago. The more I start thinking to myself, you really belong in the kitchen. When I see a woman, like, you need to be in the kitchen somewhere because this is fucking you up. like I get it now. Like the older I get, the more times that those thoughts cross my mind. When I see bitches, especially like in the world, or they, dumb bitches like working in the mall and shit. Like, yeah, you need to be in the kitchen with a man taking care of you because you can't do this. The older I'm 30, I'll be 34. And I started getting these thoughts maybe instinctively when I think I was about 29. When I started to wake up and really know what I was looking at. Yeah, man, like a lot of bitches, man, like they like any form of independence and success, it just kills them. It destroys them. And the sexual awakening, it's just another form of it. Once their brains pretty much, once they start to trickle into true adulthood ways of thinking, of true independent ways of thinking, they're done. You might as well just discard them at that point because they chronically destroy themselves. That's and the reason why they chronically destroy themselves is because somewhere deep down in the back of their mind, they always have this. A lot of them don't even know they have it, but in the back of their mind, they're always going, "Yeah, I'll get Roy to fix it when I fuck up." But it's so deep in them, they don't even know they have it. Like you can smell it on them. Like they have it, but they don't even know that they have it. Because the reason why men don't chronically fuck up the way women fuck up, especially situations like this, is because men don't rely on Roy to fix nothing. You see what I'm saying? Like men are always left assed out. See, and it goes back to that entitlement of woman. See, woman is entitled to that, to being loved and all this because she's woman, so she can't even see it. She like now, woman doesn't even want to be loved. She wants to be desired because love is just, oh, that's just an abundance. I don't care. It's there. You see what I'm saying? Like they don't even care anymore. But yeah, that's it, man. Like, so the sexual awakening thing, my thoughts on it is I think it's a real thing, but woman's brain just can't handle it because anything, like, I mean, seriously, look at any woman you can find who had her shit together in any one area. She is crying her eyes out at night, every night before she goes to sleep over the 4 other areas in her life. Every time, it never, or she's just so fucked up, she has to say so high that she can't cry about it. It's one of the two. Every single time. Every time they're, the world's, I'm just so sorry. And the bitch got a doctorate in, in biochemistry, and, but the rest of her life is fucking. This is what woman does. It's what they do. They're not made to lead. They're not made to be the successor of anything. This is what they do. If they lead in one thing, the rest of their life is in shambles. Like, seriously, I mean, look at any woman you can think of who was successful in any one thing. Let's say a woman. Let's just break it down to a woman can work and she has her own flat. She is crying her eyes out because she can't keep a man, because she's fat, because she has a big nose, whatever the fuck. Like, she can't. The woman cannot succeed respectably on an average on an overall average of their life. They have to hate something about themselves. It's just them.